Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Eve, again here playing Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains, and we're here on the alt account, and this is for a newer server, and we have the announcement for the Centipede Kaneki. So the first dark type character that is gonna come into the game is the Centipede, and he's gonna be coming in just a few days. So in 2 days, on the 7th, he's gonna be here. Info, new features, new dungeon, new carnival arena, brace yourself. An SSR character with a rare attribute awaits. During this carnival, recruitment of super rare powerful character Kaneki Centipede is gonna be here. So today we're gonna talk about the Centipede. I already have a review video on him on my channel, but we're gonna do this again for newer players, as well as just we're gonna talk about some other stuff because there's gonna be skips on the carnival, and maybe you will change your mind in terms of should you go for Centipede or not. And we're gonna talk all about that, but let me get into my main account so I could showcase to you the Centipede, and we'll start the talk. Okay, we're on my main account here, so here I can showcase to you the Centipede, as well as before the all of the Centipede showcase. I think there's more important stuff to know for especially for newer players, that a lot of I think newer players will not know until they face it, is that there's gonna be a lot of skips in this game. Uh, mid-game players probably already have felt it or seen it, or they're like on this scale of skip already. But for newer players, it's just gonna come in at some point after probably a Centipede banner. So what is gonna happen, and why I'm thinking why you should be careful with your summons is because there's a lot of banners that's gonna get skipped. So not only the limited banners, but carnival banners are as well getting skipped. So first of all, if you're building an Aogiri, again we're gonna talk about mostly on the Aogiri side here. If you're building an Aogiri, Light Ayato has always, after he came out, was always been the one of the main parts of Aogiri. Obviously, an incredibly strong character, extremely broken with his passive, and he's getting skipped. On all of the newer banners, he's gonna get skipped 100%. So there wasn't any carnival reruns yet, so we have no idea when he's gonna come back. Is he even gonna come back or anything like that? There's no way to know for now, right? There's no leaks about that. There's nothing to know and to like guess about it. I think there's gonna be a rerun at some point, but is it gonna happen on the next carnival? Is it gonna happen like after 2 carnivals? No idea. But with him getting skipped, Centipede as well as Jason are getting more value. Why, you might ask? Obviously, you don't have one like such an incredible character anymore. That means you need to try and put someone else into that slot to make this actually work. So obviously, the main Aogiri team looks like something like Tatara here, Combat Kaneki, Ito, or like Sen, whatever you like to use, Ayato, and the second red Ayato here. But now you will not be having that light Ayato here. So then the best probably choice is gonna be having something like this, or another version of it is either Centipede or Jason, one of them swapped for Tatara. So this is a more of a free-to-play, I think, friendlier version of an Aogiri now, because again, Ayato is not there anymore for a newer player. So this is probably that's something you want to go for, at least to try. This is like a free-to-play and low-spender friendly team, I think, for the most part. Obviously, if you were a whale, probably a better choice would be swapping the Statera for a Jason and having at least like both Jason and Centipede on like D, both of them D. This Ayato at least on D if you want to like spend more on these two and have at least D on this guy, as well as D on this guy for sure needed for the CP. And Sen, it doesn't matter. At least she needs to be on like 3 stars at least, and then it's just only comes for the her CP buff if you have more than that on her. So this is the most important stuff for you to know because this is getting skipped. So after Centipede banner ends, we're immediately getting into Jason banner. So it's basically 2 Aogiri characters in a row. So you're not getting any time to save after Centipede and, for example, like skip Amon. Like I'm not gonna tell you about skipping obviously Light Ayato, but again, there's no time for you to save, and you're just getting immediately into Jason banner. And for the most part, I think Centipede is gonna be around 2 weeks at most. His carnival is gonna be there for that time. I think that's the most they can probably do with all of the skips they're doing. So Jason is gonna be next, and this is something you can try to go for. And as well as with Jason being here, should you go for Jason? Maybe you should skip Centipede and actually go for Jason, or should you still go for Centipede? So, in my opinion, if you are free to play to low spender, Centipede is definitely a much better choice. Because Tatara, obviously Tatara, you can get him from the banner. I think they're not gonna skip this guy. At least I think. Again, it could all change. If there's gonna be some differences, I'm gonna make a video on that. If they're skipping this guy, I'm gonna tell you. But I don't think they're skipping him yet. So if Tatara is gonna be still there, at least getting him to 3 stars is gonna be pretty easy because he's 200 guaranteed character. So you're definitely getting him to 3 stars. Centipede, on the other hand, is a very like low spender friendly because he's extremely broken. He's extremely strong, one of the best solo targets characters compared to Jason. Jason, again, he's also a very broken character, but again, he requires a big investments. He requires you to make a big amount of damage, as well as Jason, for it to maximize the damage from his passive, is whenever he does like additional damage. That's when he requires you to have a big amount of the investments. So like Centipede is good. If you get him 1 star, he's already extremely broken. If you get him to 3 stars, he probably like almost unlocks his full potential. Like 5 stars to D, Centipede is extremely broken. On Yamori there, or on the Carnival Jason, it's a little bit different story. On 1 star, he's good. On 3 stars, he's getting a little bit better. He's like on that SS to triple S tier, like somewhere between that. On D, he gets much more stronger. Like on D and higher, he gets extremely broken, much more stronger in that terms compared to Centipede. But as well as one of the other good things about Centipede, why maybe you should go for maybe Centipede more than this Jason, is based on the new salvage shop that we got. So the new salvage shop has obviously the new assault cell for Centipede, and this assault cell is extremely broken. Like it's actually one of the most broken cells out of all of these, and so far we don't have all of them yet. Like for example, on CA server, there's a few more. But for now, this is one of the most, like probably a top 2, because I think Light Ayatos is like top 1, and this one is a top 2 on that bar. He gets an AoE damage now. He can do an AoE damage, and like it's not some crazy damage there, but again, 10% for everyone by just him doing attack is extremely broken in my opinion. So again, that's also a kind of a good play. Again, those salvage shop items cost a very big amount of stuff, like a very big investments to get even one of them. I will not even tell you about like trying it to make max out and get it to 5 stars. Obviously it's going to be very hard, but still, even that one cell will already make the Centipede even stronger and like make him much more scarier than it is. Jason, for now, it's again, he's a high investment character, and it's very hard to for free to play and low spenders to actually get him more than like D. So again, I think in that sense, Centipede is a much, much better character compared to Jason, and much more friendlier to everything else if you're building Aogiri. So next thing that I wanted to talk about is obviously the Centipede itself. Why is he so good? First of all, I have a video already on the channel, as I said previously, that has the all full-on like a review of this guy. But again, I'm just gonna briefly try to get through the guy here. Again, big damage here, 420% attack, self sharpen, ignores target's block chances. Again, this is very good. Slaughter deals additional 0%, 35% damage for every 1% of the remaining HP. Again, he buffs himself. Basically, that's always very extremely good. So now here, this is where he gets the stuff. He is the buffer. So he's like a damage type who can as well debuff. And debuffer means he debuffs the enemies. And not only he can do more damage, but your other Aogi members or other, like basically his teammates can do the damage as well. So he applies collapse and crazy. All of those make him much, much stronger. So collapse here, defensive rate stats reduced by 4. This is the debuff. Crazy damage taking increased by 20%. Another debuff. The removal costs your 30% max HP. Damage taking won't exceed 400%. But again, this is like 20%. You're gonna be basically doing 20% more damage here, as well as like another 4 here as well. As well as this is gonna apply bigger with the stacks, because you can get 1 stack after every time your Aogirichi character deals damage. So those stacks are gonna be very like quickly going up, especially with a full-on Aogiri if you're playing like that. When an enemy character apply collapse, your basic stats increase. Again, he buffing himself. When an enemy character is applied crazy, your damage will increase by 15%. Again, buffing himself for the damage again here, as well as skill level will increase. Also, incredibly broken. When dealing damage, remove 1 buff from the target, as well as like this is another debuff that he can do. He debuffs enemies so that they can't get a buff. You know what I mean? Only granting 1 debuff to yourself. When you are debuffed, your attack-related stats increase by 12%. Again, if you're getting debuffed, he also is getting stronger at that as well. So basically, he can nullify most of the debuff. If they're like 10% attack debuff, he basically nullifies it with this one. Again, very strong, very broken. All of this is very, very scary whenever you use this guy. Again, this is like more of a, very quick go through the characters, so I'm not like reading everything and telling you everything that there is. But this is basically it. He just debuffs the enemies, makes more damage, and your characters as well can do more damage with that, because he obviously something like defense related stats reduced and damage taking increased by 20% is on the character, and if you are attacking with other characters as well, is obviously gonna be applying to them too. So this is working for everyone, and this is incredibly good for the Red Ayato. Obviously, debuffed enemies take more damage. It's easier for Red Ayato to kill. After that, it means that if a Red Ayato kills someone, your combat Kaneki will skill level you, and then Red Ayato as well as Centipede will do extremely broken amount of damage. So again, an incredibly broken character, and I definitely highly advise you to try to get him at least to 1 star. 3 stars would be best. If you're maybe a low spender, you can try to go for 3 stars. If you skip maybe Arma as well, a good chance for you to get him to 3 stars. But again, 1 star is okay. You can just, get the star ups later from the RTA, from the login rewards, all of those stuff, and then try to get him to 3 stars, and probably stop there. You're gonna be okay. So again, this is probably what I wanted to tell you. Again, there's a lot of skips, so be careful with. We're having much less diamonds, all of those like tickets. All of that is gonna be much less compared to what I had on like my main server, as well as all the people who are like further in content than the newer servers. we had much more time as well as much more investments, and you are like you all of those people who are on the new servers will get much less. So again, highly encourage you to go for him if you're building Aogiri. If you're more interested, again, you can skip him and try to go for Jason 3 stars. That's also not a bad idea. But again, I don't recommend it for low spenders. And free to play, obviously. Not for free to play at all. Like free to play, I wouldn't even recommend it. For low spenders, you could try, depending on how much investments you have, as well as how much, basically all of those stuff you have in your team. Or sorry, in your diamonds, in your currency, all of that. Depending on that, you can try getting both of them, like Centipede or Jason, or even just go for purely Jason and try to make him deal. But again, he's gonna be like, for now, you don't have Centipede, you don't have Combat Kaneki. He's gonna be the only 2 characters that you have in your main Aogiri team, basically. This is how it's gonna look like. So again, hopefully you can make a decision for yourself. I'm not, it's like, it's your choice, obviously. Do whatever you want with your account. If you love playing Aogiri, you can go for both of them. It's like your choice. Do whatever you love. Hopefully you will have a great time in this game. Other than this, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, join the Discord to not miss any announcement as well as streams, because I always do the summons for newer characters on those streams. So hopefully you will like it, and I'll see you on the next one.